Hello and welcome to Service Dogs 101. Today's topic, education and etiquette for the public who interact with service dog teams. We're going to talk about a few problems service dog teams face and the importance of educating ourselves and others for proper interactions. So let's get started. Service dogs have been used as guide dogs for the blind and used in medicine since the early 1900s. But in the last 25 years, the use of service dogs has gained in popularity, and they are now being used for individuals with a variety of invisible disabilities. Today, service dogs provide a way of living self-sufficiently for those with invisible disabilities such as autism, hearing impairment, seizure sufferers such as epilepsy, diabetes, FASD or fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, life-threatening allergies, and a wide variety of psychiatric disorders such as PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as depression and anxiety. Some problems have arisen, making it difficult for the disabled individual to interact in public with their service dog. Common problems include, but are not limited to, being questioned about their disability, daily discrimination when in public with their dog, legitimacy of their dog being questioned, disrespect for their service dog, people who approach their dog, the misconception there is a national certification and registry, and the misconception that the dog must have identification or a vest. Other problems include the ease of access to service dog registry kits, the ease of access to mental health professionals' recommendation for service dogs, and people who fake service dogs. So, what can you or I do to help? Well, in addition to learning about the American with Disabilities Act regulation of service dogs, there is an etiquette when interacting with a service dog team. Learning these simple reminders benefit the service dog team as well. First, do not assume the person is blind because they have a dog and do not have a visible disability. There is a wide variety of invisible disabilities that benefit from the use of service dogs. Remember, it is rude to ask someone about their disability. Be respectful. Remember, they are real people. Being able to interact in public is an integral part of maintaining their self-sufficient life. Remember that breed alone is not a way of determining if the dog is capable of being a service dog, and to educate others who interact inappropriately with service dog teams. The ADA currently defines a service dog as any dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks for the benefit of an individual with a disability, including physical, sensory, psychiatric, intellectual, or other mental disabilities. The ADA also states that determining the legitimacy of a service dog is two-part. First, the dog must recognize the problem, and second, the dog must respond. The ADA also states that there is a list of things that you can and cannot ask a service dog handler. You cannot ask a person about their disability. You cannot ask for documentation, identification, or proof of training, and you cannot ask the dog to perform a demonstration of his tasks. You can ask things like, is that a service dog? Or, what task is the dog trained to do? Always remember, do not pet the dog, do not distract the dog, and do not separate the dog from the handler. However, the ADA does not require a service dog to be identified in any manner. Rights of service dog teams. With only a few exceptions, a disabled handler may take a service dog into any place a person without a dog would normally be allowed to go, even when pets are not allowed. This includes, but is not limited to, restaurants, grocery stores, malls, theaters, buses, taxis, trains, airplanes, motels, government buildings, medical offices, hospitals, parks, beaches, amusement parks, churches, and the list goes on. A psychiatric service dog may fly in the cabin of a USA-based commercial airline with their disabled handler, and the handler may not be charged a pet or other fee. Landlords and property managers must make reasonable accommodations for tenants or prospective tenants with service dogs, even if the apartment, house, college dorm, or other residence does not allow pets. A tenant with a service dog may not be charged a pet fee of any kind, even if pet fees are normally required. Public entities may not charge the disabled handler a fee because of their service dog, and public entities may not position or seat the handler and service dog away from other patrons to intentionally separate them. Now that we know the regulations and rights of service dog teams, let's talk about proper etiquette for public interaction with service dog teams. There are 8 do's and don'ts for your behavior around service dog teams. Do speak to the owner handler rather than the dog. Remember, the animal is working. The human's life could depend on her staying focused on the job. Do keep your own dog a distance away from a working dog. Other animals are an obvious distraction to working dogs, and in worst case scenario, there could be an altercation between the 2 animals. Do treat the handler with sensitivity and respect. Asking a service dog handler personal questions about his or her disability is out of bounds, it's disrespectful, and an intrusion of privacy. Do inform the handler if a service dog approaches you. Resist the urge to respond to the dog. The handler will correct the dog. Don't touch the dog without asking permission first. Touching or petting a working dog is a distraction and may prevent him from tending to his partner. Don't offer food to a service dog. Not only are food and treats a potential distraction, but many service dogs are fed a specific diet and often on specific schedules. Don't assume a napping service dog is off duty. All dogs nap, including working dogs. Don't assume service dogs never get to just be dogs. Working dogs typically get plenty of R&R and playtime when they're home and out of their work clothes. Other issues and how we can help. Today's technology has allowed for a wide variety of ways to get documentation for a service dog, as well as emotional support dogs. A mental health professional's letter of recommendation is a click away and can be obtained online for a fee. Similarly, a registration and identification kit can also be purchased online from multiple sites, including Amazon, also for a fee. These practices make faking a service dog or emotional support dog very easy to do. Are there really people who would fake these dogs on purpose, you ask? The answer is absolutely yes. This does happen, and it is more common than we might think. Currently, in the U.S., there are 23 states with fake service dog laws or regulations. The biggest problem, however, is that there is no national system of certification, registration, or identification for these dogs that has any kind of legal meaning. These fake service dogs are untrained and can be a huge distraction for an actual real service dog team. There is no easy solution, but the solution starts with you and I, and it starts with education and advocacy. How can we help emotional support dog teams? As with service dogs, the same do's and don'ts still apply. However, there is a common misconception that emotional support dogs are service dogs. Emotional support dogs provide support through companionship. They can help ease anxiety and depression and certain phobias. They are not psychiatric service dogs and do not have the same rights. The problem is within classification. The ADA clearly states that emotional support dogs are considered pets, not service dogs. The number of individuals using emotional support dogs has grown immensely over the last decade and is still growing. Though they are not much different than a psychiatric service dog, they are not specifically trained to do work or perform specific tasks. In order to alleviate such problems, we need to educate those who are ignorant to the truths and advocate for the inclusion of emotional support dogs starting in our own states. Some states do have emotional support dog regulations, but more states need these types of regulations. Check with your state. See if your state is included or not. If it is not, simply write a letter to your local representative. For more information regarding service dogs or emotional support dogs, please visit the following. If you are not in the state of Texas, please visit your state website for laws and regulations in your area. Please remember, education and advocacy begins with you and I. I hope this video was helpful. Leave any questions or comments you have below. And on behalf of me and my psychiatric service dog, Roxy, Thanks for watching. Bye bye.